Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers.
No judging.
Yeah.
No judging.
And the millennials are really changing that.
Is charm. No.
All success begins with desire.
I feel like I'm on fire right now.
Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers. I'm Justin Fox. I'm joined here by Al Jabri. Al, thank you very much for joining me today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So we were just talking a little bit about kids and COVID and all this fun stuff, lockdowns. But your kid's in daycare, you said. So that's at least she's there. But
She is.
anyway, yeah. So how old did you say your daughter was? 3?
My daughter's 3. Yeah.
Great, perfect, awesome. So just a quick background: you are the lead client consultant at Longevity.
Yeah.
You make navigating the complex world of life. Let me read this again. You make navigating the complex world of life insurance and living benefits easy. So
Yeah. I should rework that thing.
What's that? You should.
I should reword my title.
You reword right because it's not easy. Yeah, it's not.
No,
easy.
exactly.
It's you know what it was? It was on 2 lines.
Was
I
it?
read it to like life, and that was like my pause, and then insurance. So it's kind of like, shit, I should have said life insurance, not life. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. Cool. So tell us a little bit about. I'm gonna do I like doing this. Choose your own adventure.
Sure.
You and I are just meeting. First time. Everyone's just kind of meeting you. Why don't we? There's 2 options. Where you've been, kind of like your backstory, or tell us a little bit about who Al is, or where you are right now. Like, what are you doing sort of today, maybe in around COVID? Like, so choose your own adventure, kind of like the books, people read as kids,
I like that.
might remember. Go ahead. You choose past or present, I guess.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
We'll talk present, and the past inevitably is going to come up in some fashion, right?
Okay.
So,
Perfect. Awesome.
All right.
Go
So
ahead.
you said,
So tell us about the present. Where are you in the present?
Perfect. So you said Longevity Chief. That's our brokerage. And so I'm a lead client consultant there. I'm
Okay.
also the managing partner. And so we have one other partner. Her name is Ashley Lalonde, and she happens to be my wife. So
Okay.
Go figure, right? There you go.
There you go.
We're a managing general agency in Mississauga. So all that means is that we work direct with the insurance companies. And effectively what we do is for business owners, entrepreneurs, and professional corporations, we manage people's life insurance and living benefits. And so you come to us to build a plan for income protection or to use insurance in a traditional way. Like, God forbid somebody loses their life. They want to have some term insurance to pay off their house. Or to use insurance like an asset. So instead of investing in stocks or investing in new real estate property, you're buying an insurance policy to kind of make some dividends and returns. So that's how we work with business owners.
Okay.
That's going to bring up some questions, I figured.
Yeah. I got it.
That's why I said it.
Yeah. Okay. So you talk a little bit about tax it's sort of obviously ties into tax planning from a entrepreneur perspective.
Totally.
So tie that into sort of like, why would somebody want to go into these types of insurance products? Like, what benefit do they get out of them, both as an entrepreneur, for their business, and then obviously sort of long-term success of both themselves, their family, and their business?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, traditionally we use insurance, like everybody's learned about insurance.
Right.
You'd buy it in case we've all seen the Freedom 55, and it's
Right.
like, just in case you need it. You die too early, your family needs, and forgive me, I'm pretty direct about it, right? So
All good.
you go and your family needs some money, right? So that's why you'd buy life insurance. And then there's this whole other side for a business owner. It's like, okay, well, I have the money, or I have the business, and I own a house or whatever it is. And if I go, my family gets this, right? So I don't have an insurance need. Well, okay,
Right.
That's pretty true. And what else can you do with insurance? So we use insurance in that non-traditional way, and we deem it an asset class. And it's just like we didn't make this up. It's an
Right.
industry standard for people to use it. And so basically Why would one do this? Well, there's only a few things available to us in Canada that allow our money to grow tax-free. And one of them is a tax-free savings account,
Right.
as everybody knows. And another one of them is life insurance. And so
Okay.
you'd use a life insurance policy like you'd use a tax-free savings account.
So, okay, I'm sort of familiar with it, but for
Sure.
and you know what, I'll play. I'm not maybe as familiar as I'd like to be.
No
So
problem.
give us the there's, I believe, and you're probably gonna correct me, two types of life insurance, right?
Mhm.
Term and what would the other one be?
Permanent. You got it.
Permanent, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
permanent is the one that has sort of the asset underlying value in it.
That's right.
Right? Okay. So why don't you, I mean, pretend we're all a bunch of idiots and we know nothing of insurance, which
Okay.
which we probably all are, or I'll speak for myself, but
I won't say it.
yeah. I'll speak for myself, but
Okay.
for all of those that are listening, tell us a little bit, like, because obviously the asset class aspect that you're referring to is the permanent, right? So that's kind of, it has a value, right? Like what do you want to call it? Like
It's called the cash value. It's called the cash value.
Right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
tell us a little bit, because I'm sure people, I hear those terms, you know, term insurance and life insurance, like thrown around a lot. Like, what are things that people should know if they're looking at sort of the strategy that you're referring to? Like, what are they looking at?
Yeah, it's really great. So we'll keep it onto this strategy, and we'll try to get it, you know, as grassroots as possible, because there's a lot of different ways we can go. But so if you look at term insurance or terminating insurance, that's what everybody knows. You buy it for 20 years. It's highly affordable, and you're basically renting the insurance.
Okay.
So if you use it, you know, during the 20 years that you have it, you died and your family made money, okay, or got the money, they replaced your income. And if you didn't, you outlived your insurance, well, you rented it. Your rental's over. That's it. You don't get anything back. With me so far?
Yeah.
So now there's the flip side of the insurance, you know, wheel or spectrum, which is called permanent insurance. And that insurance never expires and it never increases in price. And so what you're doing is you're buying that insurance today at your youngest, and supposedly, you know, we would hope you're healthiest, or not hope, we hope you'd be healthier, but likely it's the healthiest you're ever going to be, right?
We're not kidding ourselves here. It's
Let's not kid
every
ourselves.
year is you're healthier than you were. Yeah,
exactly.
Or sorry,
that's
vice
the
versa.
truth.
You get less and less healthy. Yes,
that's right.
The likelihood of dying increases every year.
Exactly. So you'd buy insurance permanent, okay, and then so the price is never going to go up, and you have it forever.
Right.
Now, I want you to picture for a moment that you're covering that temporary need that we just talked about, okay? Simultaneously, instead of renting it, you bought this thing, and we'll call it a vehicle, okay? Like a house, like any other increasing or dividend paying asset that you have, okay?
Okay.
So all we're doing is we're paying a little bit more for the insurance so that we have the luxury of having this investment vehicle, okay?
Okay.
Now, why this is important, because people will say, well, I'll just go invest or I'll save my money. Yes, you can absolutely do that, except that there's limits. So there's limits to a TFSA. There's not limits to how much you can invest, but there's, you know, taxes, there's consequences. If you make a lot of money investing, you got to pay tax, right?
Dividend tax or
exactly. So, but life insurance in Canada isn't governed by the Income Tax Act or by the Tax Act. It's governed by the Insurance Act. And so there's a whole different set of rules there. And so effectively what you're doing when you buy permanent life insurance is you're buying yourself a basket for you to save your money in. Get that insurance that you need anyways, and allow your money to grow tax-free. That's all we're doing. It's like a TFSA on steroids.
So let's go one step into that.
Sure.
So I don't know how to ask this. So if let's say I'm putting in, I don't know, $1,000 a month into a permanent life insurance policy, whatever, it's got a $3 million payout, whatever.
Yeah.
Is that payout fluctuating? Is that money being invested in the market, let's say, so that payout increases or decreases depending on the performance of the market, or is it strictly the money I've put in and the payout?
You're asking all the right questions. Now I'm wondering if you already know about this, right?
Hey, maybe I do, maybe I don't, but maybe they don't. I don't know.
So this is great. It's a great question. So you got that money going into this account,
Because you
right?
said it's growing, right? Or
It
appreciating.
is growing.
Right? Yeah.
It's appreciating. It's paying a dividend. Okay.
Right.
And so every time you get paid a dividend, all right, and that happens annually, and there's no insurance company in Canada, at least in the big four or big five, okay, that has missed a dividend payment since inception. So we're talking hundreds and hundreds of years here.
Okay.
So not hundreds of years, 125
I
years.
was going to say.
Let's be straight about it.
Yeah, I had a stupid joke for that one, but anyways, we'll leave it. Go ahead. So yeah, so there's dividends coming in, but are they investing that money into the markets, or what are they investing it in?
They're investing the money, and they're mandated on how they can invest the money. So there's a percentage that has to be, in safer kinds of investments, and they can have the ratios. But the beauty of the life insurance is that once a dividend is paid to you, it's what they call vested. It can never be.
Oh, we just froze. Oh, we're there. Are we back?
Okay. Yes,
okay,
I'm back. Are you back?
I think I was frozen. Hold on. My internet's saying it's unstable for some reason.
No problem.
Maybe
problem.
it's the lockdown. Maybe the internet doesn't. Imagine we're all in lockdown and the internet went out.
Then what would we do?
I don't know. Like I'd be literally I'd be on my what do you call it? Cell bill would be through the roof.
That's right.
I'd be trying to hotspot off my phone. Okay, so you're saying once they give you the dividend, so just as you cut out, or I cut out or whatever, when they give you the dividend, they can't give it back or take it back.
They can't take it. It's called vested. It's vested. So it's a dividend payment to you. It's not still in the market. It's yours.
Right. Okay.
And so that makes the return vested. So a life insurance policy can never have a negative return.
Okay.
Can never have a negative return. So now let's be clear about what I'm referring to as life insurance. It's whole life, dividend paying, participating whole life. Okay. So that's what we call it. And you got to be clear because there's lots of different kinds of insurances, right? Some people will, I don't want to get into them. There's a lot of different kinds of insurance. So that
was the term I was looking for, just not to cut you off, but whole life. When you said permanent, I was looking for the term whole life, right? You have term and whole life.
That's right.
So participating, dividend paying whole life.
You got it. That's the words. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I've been in the industry. I'm giving. I want you to explain it. I understand it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you said we were just having a fun chat.
We're having a fun talk, but I want to
business.
But I really think it's interesting. Like, I mean, I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, and I think it's very valuable for entrepreneurs and a lot of people that are watching this to kind of understand, what's available to them, right? And I think understanding the types of mechanisms for, whether it's from a taxation perspective, like you said, tax-free savings, not in a TFSA, or from just, income tax and other types of, sort of tax kind of, I won't call them loopholes, but options for entrepreneurs or business owners, or pretty much anyone in general to utilize, obviously to save or to, I don't know if the words guard their wealth, but to, kind of safeguard against taxation of their wealth. Right?
Totally.
And
totally.
That's, and I mean, there's, I don't know maybe I'll ask your opinion. I've looked at options where you kind of purchase a whole life policy, and then you would take out a line of credit against the whole life policy. And then you've sort of got this kind of like ability for you to pay yourself utilizing the line of credit, obviously in a very tax efficient manner. Do you want to maybe explain that process, or are you in favor of that process, or give us sort of the rundown on how that would work?
Yeah, it's great. So the underlying tools are the same thing. It is that dividend paying whole life. Okay.
Right.
The way you use it is what would differentiate. So the way I initially explained it is, we'll call it like the vanilla, right? Highly regulated. So we called it a loophole. And I mean, you could relate to it like a loophole. And it's been vetted, tested by the
Right.
CRA numerous
Loophole
times.
doesn't necessarily mean bad.
Exactly. Exactly. It's one of those remaining things that the CRA says, you know what? All right, we're still going to allow this. And they've had ample opportunity to disallow it. Okay. So
Right.
that's why we say it's going to be here for the long run.
Right.
Now, what you're describing is another way to utilize these strategies. And we're kind of just pressing the envelope, so to speak. So if we're all clear so far that we can get this whole life and that this whole life allows us to have our money grow tax-free, okay, in the long run.
Right.
And at some point in the future, you're going to access that money for yourself or your family will at your demise, okay?
Right.
Why can't we access it sooner?
Exactly.
So that now we're just kind of pressing the envelope. So now let me go and use this insurance policy as an asset, like we just talked about. See, we're coming full circle, right?
Right.
You go to the bank and you say, hey, I have this home. Can I borrow against it? We call that a home line of credit, right?
Right.
Okay, but now same thing. I'm going to go to the bank and I'm going to say, look, I put in $100,000 into this policy. It's guaranteed. All right. Your money as the bank is protected. If I die, we're going to pay you. Right.
Right.
The returns are vested. That means it can never have a negative return. This is a pretty safe bet. So I'm going to use this as collateral. Will you lend me $100,000?
It's probably, I mean, even if you've paid in $100K, it's probably got some sort of cash value much higher than that, right? Like in the multiples, maybe, in the millions potentially, right? Depending on what age you're at, kind of all those other factors and variables, right?
Yeah, there's two metrics in the insurance policy. There's the cash surrender value, and then there's the death benefit. Okay. And some banks will lend you against the death benefit,
right?
But it'll be a portion of it because they want to make sure that you can, feed the beast, so to speak, right? You got to pay the interest. And some banks will lend you against the cash surrender value at a much lower rate. So again,
so there's two options there.
There's so many options.
Right.
This is the beauty of the insurance for corporations and for business owners. It's like, you get a canvas, just start drawing. We can fit, like, there's so much creativity, so many ways to kind of govern or decide how we want to go depending on the result one wants to achieve.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I'm going to go even further down the rabbit hole.
Let's go, man. Let's have some fun.
So I was talking with someone and they kind of, the US versus Canada, there's sort of like differing values of insurance, especially on the death benefit side, where in the US, there's a significantly greater, typically greater, like we're talking 3, 4, 5 times greater death benefit through US insurance. Do you advise clients to potentially go to the US, do sort of a US based health insurance? Are you familiar with that at all, or?
I'll say I'm not familiar with it, so I don't want to speak with any authority.
Okay.
And I'll say, just from a consumer perspective, knowing the competition and the population size available in the US, they have to be more aggressive.
Right.
So will I get more bang for my buck in the US? Almost always. I mean, that's why we go to Buffalo to shop sometimes, right? Just like that.
Yeah. Except with COVID, right?
And we're not doing anything right now, for sure. Okay, this is before.
Yeah, before. Bills game, I go to the Bills game, my wife would go shopping. Or
there you go, exactly.
Yeah.
But I would say, just being a Canadian life licensed individual, there's implications in purchasing a policy in a different nation. And in order to keep those policies in place, you have to have a bank account in that place. You only have to be there to buy it, right? So if you're in the US, you can buy it while you're in there, but you need a US bank account to keep functioning, to keep paying it. So there's some stuff that you'd have to manage, but sure, why not?
If there's a benefit to it, why not try it? Especially if you're going to get a significantly greater death benefit, right?
Yeah, I think this works on the term insurance side, the terminating insurance, because if you were doing it for what we were just talking about, that, as an asset, you're going to want it in Canada because you're trying to be strategic about the Canadian tax, and you can't do that using US policies.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so we did the present.
Yeah.
I'm just going to comment. You're going to watch this video, but it looks like you're very like heavenly So
Is it?
you've got like the white. I mean, you can see it now. You got like the white kind of patches with the all white walls. You've got like the white jacket. Like
I should take it off.
No. It looks like you're like, and it's kind of like there's like a glare, kind of like every once in a while. It's like,
So I'm gonna tell you something.
Speaking to us from heaven. Yeah.
This wasn't contrived.
Yeah.
My wife is downstairs painting and listening to 80s music.
Okay.
And if I'm down there, we're gonna have that in the background.
Okay.
And at some point, I have a French bulldog that's Philippe.
Start,
he's gonna start doing what he does, and you know that whole. So we're gonna be having.
We're in heaven. We're in heaven. There you go.
That's what it is.
We're in heaven. All right. Perfect. So I feel like I'm speaking to a deity in heaven. So here I'm gonna ask a very offbeat question. This is actually completely offbeat. My wife and I were driving, and you just brought, what kind of dog is that?
French bulldog.
French bulldog. Okay, is it loud? Is it loud? Like
he doesn't even know how to bark. He kind of quacks like it's a funny noise that he makes. Yeah.
Okay, so so your dog doesn't fit into this mold quite exactly. I don't. This is my wife's comment, and I agree with it. I don't understand why some people get those little dogs that literally all they do, and all you dog lovers out there, my apologies right out of the bat, but literally they walk by every person, and everyone that walks near them, it's just like
they go wild.
It's like, my God, and they're like the person must spend half their life apologizing for their dog's behavior. It's like, how is that fun in any way?
Yeah.
I don't get it. But maybe I'm not a dog lover per se. I mean, I don't dislike dogs, but I just a side note is, I don't know. You want to put your thoughts in on that? You want to join down the dog hate trail?
I'll go down the rabbit hole with you here. You know, so I have this dog, and I'm not a dog disliker either, right? And sometimes we do things for the ones we love.
No, but it doesn't sound like your dog yaps at like everyone that goes by, right?
He doesn't yap, but he's.
Oh, we just froze. We'll be back. It'll come back. I see it still recording. Hey, you there? It's there.
Welcome back.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back, Cotter. Okay, sorry. So it doesn't, let's just jump right in. I don't know what happened there.
No problem.
It doesn't really yap. My internet's not working very well.
That's okay, brother.
It doesn't really yap, but it does it like, I mean.
He does all this other weird stuff, like he snores and coughs and.
Yeah, but those are fine in the peace and quiet of your own home. I'm okay with all that stuff. It's like it would be so sort of like, I mean, I don't know. My wife brought it up too. It's sort of like, just be like, so you're constantly, the reason I'm bringing it up, so we were driving somewhere, and there was this car in front of us. I think we were like on Queen Street or whatever. And literally like every light, the dog would just be like, almost like out.
Oh my God.
And people are like right there. I mean, the people were having fun with it, but it just kind of, the conversation got to a point where it was like, imagine you're just walking down the street, like every person, every dog, everywhere you go, like your dog is literally like ripping you off, off the leash, right? Trying to go attack. Yep. And it's only like this big or this big. So anyways, cool. So why don't we just, before we end, let's go back into your sort of the past. Tell us a little bit about what got you into the insurance game, what's sort of your background in that regard?
Yeah, awesome. I would love to tell you that. It's a family story, man. When we wanted to start our family, and my wife said to me, I started in the restaurant industry. Okay. Just to be crystal clear, and I want to make sure that people realize and remember, nobody, I don't believe, starts their career or, as a child says, I can't wait to be an insurance broker, right? Like we don't say that as children.
You mean, I was just about to joke. The insurance broker didn't come into your grade 2 class and be like, here's my insurance dog.
That's right. It doesn't work like that, right?
Yeah.
So I was in the restaurant business. My family started there. So I was, that kid in the kitchen at 8 years old, kind of chopping tomatoes. And I learned that field. So I started a catering company, grew it to about 35 staff, 15 locations. We used to focus on high volume corporate catering.
Okay.
And our claim to fame was we could serve 1,000 people in an hour. Okay. Very straightforward. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
Now, effectively, I would give my wife a kiss on Thursday and say to her, I'll see you on Monday morning.
Right.
And that would be that.
Yeah.
And that was it. And so, but she said to me, look, we want to start a family. This career isn't, father-like, it's just not going to help what we're up to.
Yeah.
So she said, and she was in mortgages before.
Okay.
And she said, you should just join me in finance. And I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And got my license, did the studying, all that good stuff. But I didn't like it for the first couple of years because it's kind of like I started with, it's pretty vanilla, right? We know what everybody needs. It's a term 20. I was competing with the banks. Right. And it wasn't until I discovered the corporate side of things and working with other business owners that I could start to actually feel that, that creativity again, that front of house experience again. So, that's how we ended up here. Yeah.
Cool. So, what was the name of the catering company?
Very good. So the two-parter, one is called Olive Tree Deli Cafe, and that's the front of house. We run a deli, hot table style, two locations. Okay. And then
that still exists.
That still exists.
Okay.
It still exists. And then the Mighty Cobb is the corporate catering side, and all we're doing there is specializing in roasted sweet corn and fresh squeezed lemonade, and we do that at festivals and fairs and such.
Oh, awesome. I actually have a buddy who worked many years, for like 20 years, and I can attest to basically, his was sort of the all summer. Like they were basically all summer was just events. He, and it was like he did catering. I think it was called BBQ Gourmet. Yeah. I don't know if you've come across them.
Yeah.
But so a couple buddies, a buddy of mine from university kind of helped them, the two owners, kind of build it up from 22 years ago, I guess, to where it was just very recently. Obviously they've been hit pretty hard. How have you guys, so you said it was a family business, right? Have they been hit? Other parts of the family, right? Or
so for the front of house, COVID did what it did. It's about 50%, but for the catering company, it was a 95% hit to business.
Right, because there's no events.
There's no events, right? So in those cases, we had to do a little bit of adjustment. It still exists, but what I have is a general manager there. His name is Ryan, awesome guy. And so he ran the show there. And all we did was we kind of just honed it all back in. We went to the brick and mortars, the tried and true, where we could still operate. And we scaled it down. So we had 7 full-time staff this year instead of 30 like on a regular.
Right.
And it just is what it is.
Yeah. So you kind of just weather the storm. Hopefully, knock on wood, in the next 6 to 12 months, or I don't know what, I don't want to put time frames. 3, 6, 12, 24. We could be, it could be 50 years from now. We're still all wearing masks.
But Justin, COVID, go figure. People are talking about insurance more now. So
right, well, so there you go. If you win some, you lose some.
That's right, man.
There you go. Awesome. Well, Al, I really appreciate you joining me. Everyone will say a prayer to the heavenly Al. And anyways, appreciate you joining me for the show. I usually end it off with one last sort of question. I guess not a question. If there was one word or sort of one piece of advice, but one word that you could give to a younger Al or a younger person kind of coming up, what would that one word or piece of advice be?
Community. Leverage your community.
There you go. Interesting. So especially in the business realm and everything, right? As you're growing. We didn't talk about it, but your foray, like what got you into, if I have one more question, what got you into entrepreneurship? Like, is that sort of bred from a family kind of in you, or like what kind of made you want to get into your own thing?
So it's probably a bad joke to end with, but I think it's an illness for us entrepreneurs. It's a sick. We're crazy. Why would we do such a thing?
I say the same thing a lot.
Do you?
I literally say, I think I'm terrible at getting the quotes exactly right, but there's a quote from Steve Jobs, like, those that are crazy enough to think they can change the world will, or are the ones that will, or are the ones that do, or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, literally, yeah, you have to be crazy. It's a bad word to say with the whole, you know, mental health aspect, but you do have to be a little bit off your rocker, or, you know, one whatever, all the analogies of, you know, one screw
Just
at, you know,
keep it PC, man. Keep it PC.
anyways, I appreciate you joining me. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Connect. Yeah, appreciate it. So where can they find you?
Should I do this today?
No, yeah. No, you should just go like this to the crowd, like, bless everyone. No, bless us all. Like,
I won't. Here.
Yeah, there you go. Give us your blessing. We'll just put our heads down. Cool. So where can people find you, I guess?
It's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Longevity Achieved.
Okay.
Right. So like, it's a done deal. Longevity Achieved.
Yeah.
And you'll find us. We're there.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Everyone else, this is One Take, powered by backers. Justin Fox, Al Jabri. Thank you very much, Al. Enjoy your afternoon. Hey there. Welcome to One Take, powered by backers.
Right? No judging.
Yeah.
No judging.
And the millennials are really changing that.
Is charm. No.
All success begins with desire.
I feel like I'm on fire right now.